Miss Castro, Aisil.
Yes po, ma'am.
Kapag ba nagpapa-breastfeed, kailangan same time ang pag-inom ng pills or hindi?
Opinion ko po, ma'am, is kasi yung nawi-witness ko po sa mother ko, minsan po kasi yung time ng breastfeeding niya is hindi na rin same yung ano po, yung pag-inom po niya ng pills. Pero siguro
Okay.
po ay sa other side naman po, kung ma-recommend po ng doktor na same time para po regular po na maintain po yung pag-inom po and yung effect po ng pills.
How about Miss Misaki? Kapag ba breastfeeding, kailangan same time or hindi?
Ma'am, hindi ko po sure.
Meron bang gusto mag-volunteer? Vicedo Jaril, Violeta Rafael. Hindi ko marinig si Violeta. Sige, si Miss Cinco.
Hello po, narinig po ako.
Yes.
For me po, ma'am, para po sa akin, hindi naman po kailangan ng same time. Kunyari, if ever today I take pills ng 8 a.m. tapos kinabukasan 8 a.m. ulit. Hindi naman po siguro, hindi po siya need na on time as long as everyday mo siya natitake and pasok siya sa 5 hours na differential time. Ito.
Okay, so yung answer doon, tama yung kay Miss Castro dun sa na-observe niya sa mother niya and kay Miss Cinco. Kasi again, kapag mag-educate tayo ng client, meron tayong dalawang client na pupunta sa community magtatanong. Kasi merong isa dyan, kakapanganak lang, nagpapa-breastfeed. Yung isa naman, hindi siya breastfeeding mom. So again, remember, kapag nagpapa-breastfeed ka, okay lang na hindi same time of the day. Kasi di ba ang breastfeeding natin, meron din tong factor. Meron siyang, kumbaga, contraceptive use. Kaya nga yung breastfeed, di ba? Kaya nga kapag 6 months, so usually meron itong effect ng contraceptive factor, yung pagpe-breastfeed. Kaya naman kapag breastfeeding, yung isang patient na pumunta sa sa community, pwedeng hindi same time ang pag-inom, okay lang. Pero kung hindi naman nagpapa-breastfeed, so kailangan same time. Kasi yung lalo na kung progestin only pills yung iniinom niya, yung POP, di ba pag progestin only pills, so progestin lang yung laman nun. So, basta kapag hindi nagpapa-breastfeed, kailangan same time ng day. Kasi kapag naman hindi niya nainom agad ito, kailangan i-remind mo sa kanya yung oras na pinaka naalala niya, kailangan makainom siya agad. So, ma'am, paano kung hindi talaga siya nakainom? So, halimbawa, mispill na yung nangyari dun sa patient. So, tapos kailangan makipagtalik ng patient, kunwari sa asawa niya. So, ang mangyayari dun, advice nyo na kapag nakalimutan niya, tapos nagkaroon ng sexual intercourse, so kailangan ang gawin nila is gumamit ng additional protection. For example, yung mga condoms or spermicide, lalo na kung kaya sila nagtitake ng pills or for family planning. So yun ha, kapag breastfeeding, pwedeng hindi same time, pero kapag breastfeeding, nagmamatter yung time kasi kailangan same time ng day. So kung 7 a.m., laging 7 a.m. Kasi yung hormones, nagkakaroon tayo na, kumbaga yun yung continuous supply ng hormones sa'yo. So kung nagkaroon ng lapses doon, kailangan makainom agad yung patient tapos plus additional contraceptive pill. Okay, nasan yung next reporter, immunization, Bicedo and Galino?
Hi. Good morning, Doc. Good morning, classmate. I'm Laika Galina together with Mr. Besedo to discuss about the National Immunization Program. Yung itatakal namin dito, yung vaccines lang ng baby hanggang siya ay mag 1 year old. So, for the content outline, so we are going to tackle about the National Immunization Program, when it is established, its goals, objectives, and strategies, and also what are the laws and policies that support the NIP. Also, a brief discussion lang about immunization, immunity, and its two types, and yung vaccine characteristics, which includes the types of vaccines and more. And yung lastly, yung vaccines na binibigay sa infants and children before they reach the age of 1 year old. So, the National Immunization Program. First, it was the Expanded Program on Immunization, or EPI. It was established in 1976 to ensure that infants, children, and mothers have access to routinely recommended infant childhood vaccines, which meron nga silang 6 vaccine preventable diseases na inilunsad, which is yung vaccines for TB, poliomyelitis, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, and measles. So, ang purpose talaga ng immunization is to save lives and prevent disease. Also, i-reduce yung direct indirect na health cost. And over the past 40 years, napatunayan na talaga na mabisa yung vaccines to prevent yung mga diseases and yung mga sakit. Kasi milyong-milyong bata na yung nailigtas sa pagkamatay at yung mga kapansanan mula sa grupo ng mga nakakahawang sakit o VPDs or itong mga ito. Yeah. And also according sa WHO, yung immunization nagpe-prevent siya ng 2 to 3 million deaths every year from diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, and measles. So mahalaga talaga na nababakunahan yung mga bata. So in 2016, the expanded program on immunization transitioned to become the National Immunization Program. The NIP provides immunity against 14 vaccine preventable diseases or VPDs from only 6 in 1976. It includes immunization of other population such as senior citizen, school age, and adolescent immunizations. Advances in immunization technology resulted in safer vaccination equipment and use of combined vaccines, which are easier to administer, and the national government for NIP increased from 3 million pesos in early 2000 to almost 4 billion in 2016. So, we can see na patuloy lang yung Department of Health sa pagpapalawak ng coverage ng mga population groups and sa pag-develop ng mga vaccines against VPDs. Unlike before na infants, children, at mothers lang yung scope nila, ngayon kasama na yung mga senior citizen, yung adolescent, and yung school age. And from only 6 vaccines, naging 14 na, which includes yung mga vaccines like PPV or pneumococcal polysaccharide vaccines for seniors age 60 to 65 years old. And also malaki na rin yung budget nila para mas marami na ring tao o bata yung mabakunahan. Next. So dito makikita nyo yung National Immunization Program, yung goal and objective and strategies. So yung pinaka-main goal talaga nila dyan is to reduce morbidity and mortality rates due to vaccine preventable diseases. Maiwasan yung mga nagkakasakit, yung kakaroon ng kapansanan and namamatay due nga dun sa na-discuss na vaccine preventable diseases. Supported din ng mga objectives, which is ito objective 1, to increase coverage of existing vaccines for targeted population groups across the life stage. So, objective talaga nila dyan is mapalawak pa yung coverage ng population group and mas marami pa talaga yung mabakunahan and mabigyan ng vaccine. So, objective 2, to provide additional protection to identified vulnerable groups from other VPDs through evidence-based new vaccines and technologies. Siyempre, evolving din yung mga sakit, so dapat gumawa talaga ng mga vaccines for other VPDs. And objective 3, to achieve the country's commitment to priority global immunization goals. So since dati pa naman, commitment na talaga yung DOH in reducing the number of people na nagkakasakit at namamatay because of VPDs. So with the help of plan strategies, ay ini-aim talaga nila yung goal. And also, may mga strategies din dyan presented sa baba, which is strategy 1, expand the package of quality immunization services and scale up coverage. Strategy 2, generate clients' demands and multi-sectoral support for immunization services. So with the help of multi-sectoral groups, mas marami talaga yung mababakunahan and mas marami pa yung matutulungan, yung maaabutan ng tulong, ganun. Sa strategy 3, strengthen surveillance and response. Strategy 4, build up supervision, monitoring, and evaluation. So, every part of the country dapat na monitor na record yung mga bilang na babakunan and yung mga natutulungan. For strategy 5, institute supportive governance, financing, and regulatory measures. So, kailangan talaga yan yung supportive governance. Since sa kanila naman nanggagaling yung change, yung budget, and kung paano papalawakin pa itong NIP. So, next. Siyempre, meron ding legal basis of the National Immunization Program. So, mandated siya and supported siya by the following laws and policies. So, one is the law, the fundamental law of the land, which state that the state shall adopt a comprehensive approach to health development, which shall endeavor to make essential goods, health, and other social services available to all people at affordable cost. There shall be priority for the needs of underprivileged, sick, elderly, disabled, women, and children. So, sinasabi lang dito na kapag pangangailangan pang kalusugan, dapat mas malawak at mura lang siya para lahat ng tao may access kasi lahat naman tayo nagkakasakit. And dapat walang naiiwan and nakakalamang. Also, dapat priority rin yung mga population groups and underprivileged. Next is yung Presidential Decree number 996, September 16, 1976 provides for compulsory basic immunization for infants and children below 8 years old. Presidential Proclamation number 6 implementing the expanded program on immunization, EPI, in response to the United Nations goal for universal child immunization by 1990. Proclamation number 46, September 16, 1992, reaffirmed the Philippines' commitment to universal goal of eradicating polio by 2000 through child and mother immunization. So alam ko na italaga na yung Philippines na polio-free noong 2000 dahil nga dito sa vaccine. So next is the Republic Act number 7846, an act requiring compulsory immunization against hepatitis B for infants and children below 8 years old, amending for the purpose of Presidential Decree number 996, December 30, 1994. So, listed dyan yung mga basic immunization services that were provided. Yun nga yung mga vaccination against TB, DPT, poliomyelitis, measles, rubella, Hepa B in newborn, yung Hepa B for 24 hours after birth. And yung DOH administrative Administrative Order Number 39 Series of 2003, April 21, 2003, guided the nationwide implementation of the EPI, Expanded Program on Immunization. And ito, importante ito, yung Republic Act 10152 of July 2, 2011, otherwise known as the Mandatory Infants and Children Health Immunization Act of 2011 mandated the adoption of comprehensive, mandatory, and sustainable immunization program against BPDs among all infants, children under the age of 5 years old. Yun nga yung mga vaccines. So, under ng Republic Act na to, libre lang yung mga bakuna sa edad na 5 pababa sa mga rural health units and sa mga barangay health centers. Also, trivia lang, yung National Immunization Day is every Wednesday siya ng month, but can vary in different areas or different lugar. Ganun. Next, so before we proceed with the vaccines, let us first discuss and understand the purpose of immunization. So, what is the immunization? Immunization is the process where a person is made immune or resistant to an infectious disease, typically by the administration of a vaccine. So, vaccine stimulates the body's own immune system to protect the person's subsequent infection or disease. So, we know naman kung ano yung purpose ng vaccine, which is to let our body recognize pathogens when they enter our body. So, yung white blood cells natin will know kung ano na yung gagawin sa mga pathogens once infected na tayo nun. And in that way, nakaka-develop tayo ng immunity. So, what is immunity naman? Immunity refers to protection from disease through the formation of antibodies. There are 2 types of immunity. So, discuss muna natin yung immunity. So, nasabi ko nga, once na napasukan tayo ng mga germs-causing diseases, natututo yung white blood cells natin kung paano mag-create ng defense against pathogens by creating antibodies. So, kada sakit, may designated na way yung white blood cells to fight off yung certain disease na yan. So, dito naman tayo sa types of immunity. Actually, marami pa yan. Pero ito lang nalagay ko. So, the passive immunity and active. Passive, acquired through the administration of products derived from human or animals, providing short-term protection, usually few weeks or months. So, kapag dito sa passive immunity, kapag yung isang tao is binibigyan ng antibodies instead of producing on their own immune system. So, example, yung bata, makakakuha siya ng passive immunity from the mother through sa placenta. So, ang downside lang nito is hindi siya pang matagalan. Kaya kailangan mo pa rin talagang magpa-vaccine. So, next is yung active immunity formed by stimulating the immune system to produce cellular and antibody immunity. Ways of producing active immunity include exposure to an infection or disease, vaccine to produce immune response to similarly evoked by natural induction without the development of the disease and in its complication. So dito sa active immunity, nagkakaroon ng active immunity kapag na-expose ka sa pathogens na nagkakos ng disease, tapos nata-trigger yung immune system natin. Kaya nagkakos siya na mag-produce ng antibodies sa disease na yon. So it can be acquired through natural immunity or yung sa vaccine-induced immunity. Kapag natural, exposure mo mismo sa infection ng disease, and kapag vaccine-induced, yung kapag nagpapabakuna tayo. Ganun. Next. Ayan. Yung sa types naman ng vaccine, yun nga yung nasabi ko yung sa active immunity. So, kapag may 2 types siya, live attenuated and inactivated vaccine. So, live attenuated are derived from wild viruses or bacteria which are modified or weakened in laboratories. Immunity is elicited by replication of the attenuated organism in the vaccinated person. So, from the word itself, live, kumukuha ng live and weakened form of the germ na nagkakos ng disease. Since yung mga vaccines na live attenuated is similar siya, parang so similar siya sa kapag nagkaroon ka ng national infection. So, talagang dito, nagka-create talaga siya ng strong and mas matagal yung immune response sa katawan. Pero meron din siya mga limitations kasi nga since live and weakened na yung bacteria, kailangan mo ng yung mga ibang tao, kailangan mo na nila parang to consult with their physicians bago sila mag-receive nito kasi yung mga kapag meron silang weak na immune system, meron silang sakit, ganyan, or nag-organ transplant na sila, is pwede silang parang contraindicated talaga siya pag mahina yung immune system mo. Kaya kailangan mo munang magpa-consult sa physician mo. And inactivated vaccines naman are produced by growing the bacteria or virus in culture media, which are then subjected to heat or chemical agents. It must contain sufficient antigenic mass to simulate the desired response since it is incapable of replicating inside the host. So, inactivated then from the word itself, inactivated, use yung killed version naman siya ng germ na nagko-cause ng disease and wala tong ability to replicate. Pero intact pa rin siya para makilala pa rin siya ng immune system natin. So, ang downside nga lang nito, since hindi siya masyado nakaka-provide ng immunity na kasing strong ng mga live vaccines. So, kailangan mo pa ng mga booster shots para makakuha ka ng immunity against diseases dito sa inactivated. So, generally, yung first dose lang nito is para makilala lang ng ng immune system natin yung disease. And kailangan para makapag-develop ka ng immunity or antibody is kailangan niya ng second or third dose o yun nga yung mga boosters. Next. Ayun, yung alam ko namang familiar na kayong dito, yung site and route administration. So first is the oral route or oral or PO. Oral vaccines should be administered first before giving injectable vaccines or performing other procedures that might cause discomfort, especially in children. So, syempre, kailangan, ideal talaga na mauna siya since hindi naman siya masakit and alam naman natin na kapag na-injectionan yung mga bata is sobra
Mr. Bisedo, pa-PM nga si Miss Gavino. Pasabi medyo choppy.
Ma'am, opo, na-PM ko na po. Siguro po ako na lang po magtuloy. So,
Dito na, Mi.
ay,
Wait lang, sorry nawala yung internet. Okay. So, tuloy na tayo dito sa ka nag-represent ka pala.
Magkasama ba kayo?
Hindi kayo magkasama, ma'am. Wait lang. Wait lang. Ayan, visible ba?
visible.
So, next naman is sa IM. Huwag na kayo tumawa. Okay, yung sa IM is the vaccines are administered into the muscle tissue below the dermis and the subcutaneous tissue. So, yung vastus lateralis muscle, yung sa hita, and deltoid muscle, yung sa braso, are the two routinely recommended sites for IM route of administration. So, alam natin na 90 degree yung pag-insert dito ng injection, and lagi siyang parang mostly ginagamit itong technique, yung injection na to, ganun. And for 4 naman is intradermal route or ID. The vaccine is administered in between the layers of the skin until a wheal appears. Insert a small thin needles, 25 or 27 yung size, and 1 to 2 cm underneath the skin to introduce the vaccine. So, alam naman natin dito na pag skin test talaga is sa dermis lang. And kailangan may mag-appear dyan na bleb or wheal para alam natin na ina siya. Next. Siyempre, if yung vaccine is used for to protect us from diseases, syempre meron din siyang contraindications. And use every opportunity to immunize eligible infants and adults unless the person has a health condition that does not permit vaccination. Sometimes there are reasons vaccine should never be administered, also called absolute contraindication. So never siya binibigay yung next doses kapag absolute yon. And there are times when you should delay giving the vaccine for a short period of time. So, temporary naman yung tawag sa kanya. And the following are reasons why specific vaccine should never be administered and the reasons why they may be delayed for a short time. So, pag absolute, which is yun nga yung never na ibibigay yung next dose, if an infant or person who has a history of anaphylaxis or severe hypersensitivity reaction during previous immunization is an absolute. So, hindi mo na talaga ibibigay yung next dose kapag may severe allergic reaction na siya. Kasi delikado na talaga yun. And next, kapag temporary contraindication naman, if a mother or parent strongly objects to immunization of a sick infant, ask the mother to come back when the infant is well. And also, if a child is suffering from some chronic condition and is under medication, consultation with the primary physician could result in a postponed immunization until the medication or treatment is completed. So, if may sakit yung bata, kailangan talaga ng thorough assessment and supervision ng physician. If malala na talaga yung sakit niya, kailangan ng hospitalization. So, susunod na lang yung mga dose. Kasi tinitingnan natin dito yung baka mag-earn siya ng adverse effect. So, yun yung parang pinipigilan or ino-observe. And also report to supervisors immediately if a reaction does occur upon vaccination. Next. Ito yung mga vaccine na binibigay sa baby hanggang sa birthday niya. So, nakalagay dyan, 5 bisita hanggang birthday niya. So, pagkaanak, kapag 1 and a half na buwan, and so on, hanggang sa siya ay mag-1 taon. So, considered as fully immunized na yung baby kapag nakompleto niyo na yung mga vaccine na ito kapag siya ay 1-year-old na. And yun nga, sabi ko kanina, yung mga vaccines na to ay libre under Republic Act 10152. Magpunta lang kayo sa government hospitals o kaya sa mga barangay health centers. And kapag hindi naman nakompleto ni baby yung mga vaccines, pwede na siya bigyan ng mga bakuna. Basta siya ay 5 years below, as stated pa rin sa RA 10152. And alam ko, requirement na rin ito. Yung may binibigay kasing card dyan, listahan na parang na-check na or nakapag-take na yung baby. So, requirement na rin siya bago pumasok yung baby sa school. Ganun, yung bata sa school. And ito na, isa-isahin na natin yung mga vaccines dito. So, first, familiar ba kayo dito sa SCAR? Diyan saan? Yun pala yung BCG vaccine na binibigay at birth. So, yung letters na BCG, Bacillus calmette-guerin, yung meaning niyan, yung bacillus is yung shape ng bacterium, while yung calmette-guerin ay pangalan ng mga nag-develop ng vaccine. So, ito pala ay powder form. So, freeze-dried siya. So, kailangan niya muna i-dilute bago siya gamitin. And take note pala na meron na siyang kasamang diluent sa bigay din ng same manufacturer. So, bawal natin siya i-dilute sa sterile water or NSS. Ayun lang. So, yung BCG is used for TB. Yung type of vaccine, live attenuated, yung nabanggit ko kanina, is galing sa weekend na pathogens. And yung number of dose niya is 1 dose lang at birth nga. And wala siyang booster. Schedule niya at birth, given preferably 90 minutes after birth. And yung contraindications niya, known HIV infection and other immune deficiency. So, kung may HIV yung mother, kailangan din magpa-test ni baby. Kapag walang HIV test na available, hindi ibibigay yung BCG vaccine. So, kapag naman nag-positive sa HIV yung baby, hindi ibibigay yung vaccine. Pero pag negative, ayun, pwede na siyang ibigay. And yung dosage niya is 0.05 kasi intradermal siya. Kailangan natin mag-create ng wheal or bleb. And yung sa injection site, outer upper arm or shoulder just below the deltoid. So, kung napapansin nyo, kaya tayo may ganyan na scar, isinasadya talaga yun ng mga health workers. And sa same spot lang talaga siya ine-inject kada bata para malaman na na-vaccine na nga ng BCG. So, siya yung nagkukos ng kung bakit tayo may ganyan. And, so yung injection type, yun nga, ID, yung storage, store between 2 degree to 8 degree. So, vaccine may be frozen for long-term storage but not the diluent. So, wait lang. So, meron siyang short lifespan. So, kailangan na siyang i-discard after 6 hours or at the end of the immunization session. So, kung familiar kayo sa tinatawag na cold chain system, ginagamit siya for keeping the vaccine in good condition para mapanatili yung potency niya. So, all the vaccines are stored and transported within the recommended temperature range, which is itong 2 to 8 degrees Celsius for the yung sa body ng ref. Kasi iba pa yung mayroon ding nilalagay sa freezer ng ref, which is yung temperature na recommended doon is negative 15 degree to negative 25 degrees Celsius. For the freezer, yun na. So, next naman, na binibigay din at birth, which is yung Hep B vaccine. So, for vaccine for hepatitis B, yung type of vaccine niya is recombinant DNA. So, base sa nabasa ko, yung recombinant DNA, yung method niya is kumukuha siya ng strain mula sa pathogens, tapos ina-inject siya dun sa different animals na like kunwari yung horses, tapos yung once na-inject siya, syempre mayroong antigen doon galing sa horse, and hinahayaan nyo na mag-increase yung number ng antigen inside doon sa body ng horse. And then after that, kukuha ng serum mula sa horse, tapos ina-extract yung antigen doon para ma-prepare na yung vaccine. And then, ayan na yung ginagawang vaccine. Which is mayroon pang mga process doon sa susunod na yun. And also, number of doses niya ay 1 dose, which is nga at birth. Booster doses are not recommended. So, ko sa atin, recommended siya kasi mayroon tayong exposure, lalo na sa hospital. Schedule, given within 24 hours, preferably 90 minutes after birth. So, contraindication, wala naman, except kapag merong severe na anaphylactic reaction dun sa mga previous dose. And sa dosage naman is 0.5 sa thigh and sa outer part of the mid-thigh kapag sa infants and outer upper arm kapag children and adults. So, injection type, intramuscular. Ganon din yung storage, 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. Next is itong pentavalent vaccine na binibigay kapag yung baby ay 6, 10, and 14 weeks old. So, from the word itself, penta, so 5 diseases yung na-protect niya, which is yung diphtheria, yung bacterial infection na mostly nakikita siya sa pharynx tsaka sa tonsils ng bata. And yung tetanus, yung tetanus also called as lockjaw, nakukuha sa mga sa soil tsaka sa feces ng animal and human. Hepatitis B, Haemophilus influenza type B. Ito nagko-cause na most common cause ng bacterial meningitis. And meron siyang yung number of doses pala. 3 doses. However, yung diphtheria and tetanus ay may booster. So, yung booster na total niyan sa diphtheria, meron siyang total 6 doses. Yung 3 doses, yun nga, kapag siya ay 6, 10, 14 weeks. Tapos, meron pa siyang isa pa ulit na dose, so pang-4, kapag siya ay 2 years old. And isa pa ulit na dose, so pang-5, kapag, So, 2 pa ulit na dose pala kapag school age na. And also, meron ding booster yung tetanus. Total of 5 doses. Yung 3 doses nga ito, 6, 10, 14 weeks. Tapos may isa pa ulit na dose kapag early childhood, which is kapag siya ay 1 to 6 years old. And another pa ulit para maging 5 sa adolescents naman kapag siya ay 12 to 15 years old. So, pwede pa ulit na isa kapag adult na to provide lifelong protection against tetanus. So, contraindication, ayun, anaphylaxis or hypersensitivity. So, hindi na talaga ibibigay yung mga next dose kapag may ganyan na siya. And dosage 0.5, injection site, right outer upper thigh, injection type, intramuscular, and storage, store between, ganun pa din, and never freeze the vaccine kasi nasisira yung potency niya kapag na-freeze siya. Wait lang.
Akala ko hindi. Tutuloy-tuloy mo na eh.
Now?
So, next slide. Hindi mo lang ako binigyan.
Hindi pa ako tapos. Hala, hindi pa ako tapos, sis.
Ang tagal. 9:30 na.
Okay. So, note ko lang pala, kapag, di ba, common side effect ng fever is, common side effect ng vaccines ay fever. So, kailangan natin educate yung mother na kapag may fever yung bata, i-monitor lang. And if ever na may convulsions, never na ibibigay yung next remaining doses. Okay. So, next na, nagmamadali ata. Okay, ayan.
So, yun, hindi ko na papahabain. So, OPV vaccine, oral polio, oral siya for polio, live attenuated. 3 doses siya at 6, 10, at 14 weeks. Kailangan niya, ang booster niya ay kailangan supplementary doses given during polio eradication. So, ang contraindication niya ay anaphylaxis or hypersensitivity after a previous dose. Also, child with immunodeficiency kasi Since oral siya, ito ay type siya ng live attenuated, 'di ba? Kapag live attenuated, 'di ba, buhay pa yung virus, but weakened lang. Kapag meron kasing immunodeficiency yung bata, since buhay pa nga yung virus, baka mahina yung immunity niya. Magiging delikado para sa kanya yon. So, dosage niya, 2 drops per dose into the mouth, site given orally. Storage niya ay must be kept frozen from -15 degrees Celsius to -25 degrees Celsius. Next slide. Yeah. Ito, IPV. Ito naman yung mga binibigay sa mga may immunodeficiency na mga bata or yung mga may close contact sa immunodeficiency. For poliovirus din siya, inactivated virus, 1 dose, supplementary doses given during polio eradication. Tuwing 14 weeks of age after birth. Ang contraindications niya ay ganun din, anaphylaxis and hypersensitivity. Dosage is 0.5 ml. Injection site is left upper thigh, outer part. Intramuscular, stored between +2 degrees Celsius and +8 degrees Celsius. Never freeze the vaccine. Yeah. Next slide. Ito yung pneumococcal vaccine. For Streptococcus pneumoniae, type of vaccine is pneumococcal conjugate vaccine na 3 doses din siya, given at 6, 10, at 14 weeks of age, tulad ng OPV. Contraindication, ganun din, anaphylaxis and hypersensitivity. Special precaution, postpone vaccination if the child has moderate to severe illness with temperature of 39 degrees Celsius. Dosage 0.5 ml. Ang ingay naman na labas. Also, injection site, outer part of the left thigh. Intramuscular, store between 2 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius. Yan. Next slide pala. MMR. Ito rin, powder form din siya. For measles, mumps, and rubella. Types of vaccine, live attenuated, 2 doses given at 9 and 12 months. O siya yung pang 1-year-old ng baby. In the Philippines, booster dose are given at school-age children at grade 1 and grade 7. Contraindication, known allergy to vaccine components, including neomycin and gelatin, pregnancy and severe congenital or acquired immune disorders, HIV or AIDS. Dose is 0.5 ml, injection site ay upper arm, and subcutaneous din siya, and stored between 2 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius. Yun lang. Bale, ito yung summary. So,
Mr. Bisedo, anong difference ng fully immunized sa completely immunized? Acosta.
Magpaulit po ma'am ng tanong.
Anong difference ng completely immunized child sa fully immunized child?
Pag completely po ma'am, parang based na po sa understanding ko, kapag completely po, parang nakapagpa-first dose na po sila ng vaccine po, while yung fully immunized po, parang nakumpleto na po nila kung ano po yung shots po na need po nila ng vaccine.
Okay, so panote ha yung difference. Kapag sinabing completely immunized child, so ito yung bata na nakakuha na ng 1 dose ng BCG vaccine, 3 doses ng pentavalent, which is yung DPT, Hep B, HIV, 3 doses ng OPV, 2 dose ng MMR sa age niya na 13 to 23 months. Okay? Kapag completely immunized child, 1 dose ng BCG, 3 dose ng Penta, 3 dose ng OPV, 2 doses ng MMR, at sa age na 13 to 23 months. For fully immunized child naman, yung bata ay completed their first dose of BCG, 3 doses of pentavalent vaccine, 3 doses of OPV, and 2 doses ng MMR on or before 1 year of age. So magkaiba yung age kapag fully immunized on or before 1 year of age, pero kapag completely immunized, 13 to 23 months. Okay, panote yun na, lalabas ko yun sa exam. Okay, so if wala ng question, so again, ang exam natin ay November 8, Wednesday, 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. Yung coverage isisend ko dun sa GC, basta yung lahat ng na-discuss sa reporting, butot balat, yung family planning, immunization, health indicators, tapos yung study guide na isisend ko kay Miss Acosta. Okay? Thank you, BSN 36. So, ingat.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you po.
So,